Hello there and welcome. My name is Linda and this is my channel Linda T70. Good to have your company today and thank you for joining me. I've just tried to edit the video that you're about to see, and a bit of the video is missing, so the introduction. So I'm just doing a quick introduction. I did chat about a couple of, nothing very earth-shattering, but I've spent quite a lot of time trying to find the missing piece of film and I can't, so it's obviously my fault, so I apologise for that. But the video today is about me doing a bit of cooking, and that is, as far as I can see, all intact, so I can still show you that. Basically, it's just what I'm cooking for dinner for this evening, and I was going to do a couple of, I was going to talk about some other stuff, but and try and show you a clothing haul, but I couldn't find anything to show you, to be honest. I didn't buy anything. I've had a quick look round. So anyway, basically, I thought this might be something that you might enjoy because, well, I don't know how enjoyable it is, but I've done a cooking video before and you quite like that. But this is basically me making a stew for dinner tonight, a fruit crumble and some custard. That's all it is, and I've just I was doing it anyway, so I've just done it with you watching me. So apologies for it being a bit of a weird video. There's usually a lot more chatting. One of the things I did ask you though in my original introduction, and I will ask you again, is if I was thinking about doing a video in the future about my sister, who I've mentioned on and off during my videos in the past, and I was mindful about this when that poor lad that's just that singer that's just died when he fell and killed himself, Liam Payne, a guy in One Direction, and he obviously had addiction problems, and it's all terribly sad, and it's just made me think about my sister quite a lot, because that was a problem with her. And I don't know if you'd be interested in hearing her, some of her story. It doesn't affect anybody else that's living. It's only me really, because my two children knew her and knew of her troubles, but it's not, there's no other living relatives that would, have any objection to me telling her story. And it's quite, it's interesting in some parts and it's sad in others. But if you would like, I'm no expert on these. I can only talk about the loss of a sister who was troubled really, and if that's of interest to you, let me know. It probably would bring the room down, and usually my videos are a bit more upbeat. Well, not upbeat exactly, I'm not skipping around the room or anything, but we usually have a little bit of a chuckle. But it's not to say that we won't have a little chuckle in this. I don't know really what I'm going to say yet, if indeed I do. But basically, if you're interested, if you want to comment and let me know that you'd be interested, or alternatively, if you really don't want to hear about anything like that, just tell me, because it's just a thought. So let me know if you'd like to hear some of her story and how these things affect our lives, because we've all got things going on, haven't we? Oh dear, sorry about that. Anyway, so let me know about that. So I'll get on to the cooking bit, which I think is all right. It's probably not that interesting for you, but and I'm not trying to tell you how to cook, because I'm no good at that. It's just what I do, and what we're having for dinner tonight. So if you want to join me for dinner, stay tuned, and I will see you in a bit. Bye-bye. Just wondering if the light's all right in here. Let me just hold on 1 second. I'm not sure that that's any better. I think I look a bit orangey, but anyway, let's get cracking on this first thing, otherwise we'll be here all day. So I'm just doing this on the top of the stove. I don't have an air fryer. I don't have one of those pluggy in stew things. pressure cooker. They're not pressure cookers anymore, are they? Whatever they are, don't have anything like that, so I'm just doing it on top of the stove. So I will try and show you what I am doing. If you say creaky creak, this is all fantastic camera work, if you remember from the last cooking video I did. Right, so the heat is on. Oh, bursting into song. So a bit of rapeseed oil. Now this is me doing my quick cooking thing, just cutting corners where I can, really, because it's all so boring, isn't it, cooking? We have to do it, but it just doesn't really thrill the pants off of me, I must say. The crumble I'm making is going to be part frozen fruit and some fresh that I've just got knocking around. This I bought some shin beef, I think it is. Let me see, diced shin beef shin, and you're supposed to cook it for about 4 hours, so it's going to be obviously a slow cook thing, but that's fine, you know, I've got plenty of time. So it's a question of getting, as you know, getting the heat, there we go, getting the oil in the pan nice and hot. I've covered just using this thing so I didn't get another pot dirty. So the beef has just been coated in some flour and some paprika. I don't really have any rhyme or reason to anything I cook. Sorry about this creaky thing. I don't really follow recipes. I just chuck in what I've got on the day, and if I'd have had different things I might have put different stuff in it. But yeah, as I say, this isn't a cookery lesson, it's just me making dinner. So there we are. So the heat's getting quite hot now, so there we go. Oh, there we go. So now I do realise you're supposed to put this in, like, you know, a few bits at a time, but I frankly can't be arsed with it, so I'm kind of walloping most of it in. I might do it in 2 goes. I mean, I'm not a monster, but oops, there we go. Get that going, and there's me thingy bobs. Here we are. I mean, sometimes I just chuck it all in at the same time. That's how I roll. In fact, I think I will, because I can't be bothered. We don't want a little bit of paper in, do we? I'll get all that flour in, because obviously that's a bit of a thickener. Whoops, it's a bit trying to get away. Oh, I meant to say to you, I was having a shower before I did my video, because I have a sense of occasion. And do you remember I had my spider situation a few weeks ago? And I don't know what happened to him. He was there for a few days and then he disappeared. And then he came back again. Well, I say he, aren't they mostly females around now? I don't know, anyway. And then it was there again, only it was outside of the bath, which I didn't think they could do. And I said to my son, who was living here at the time, and to current husband, if you see the little spider, please don't kill him or wash him down the plug or anything. And no, we wouldn't do that. I thought, yeah. And anyway, that was the last I saw of it, and I didn't know whether, when current husband did the new bathroom flooring and he took the bath panel off, whether that disturbed it, and I don't know, but I've never seen him again. Anyway, I got in the shower this morning and I looked up and there was one of those spindly spiders, you know, the ones that have got the body like a small pea, and then they've got like 8 foot, well, I'm exaggerating, they've got big long legs. And I thought, oh, what do I do? So it's down the shower head end. So I thought, no, let's let's be David Attenborough about this. We'll leave him. And I'm watching him while I'm sort of putting the shampoo on. And he's fine, he's just sitting there, you know, probably enjoying a little bit of a drink from the water that's coming out the shower head. And then he starts moving and I'm thinking, oh my Christ. So, I mean, I say I'm not really scared of spiders, but I don't really want them very close to me. I mean, I don't run down the street or anything. So I thought, right, I need to get out of here. So I'm watching this spider and he's moving across. So he's coming a bit closer to me, but not physically closer into my face. And I'm sort of trying, because old people in slippery showers, we do have to be careful, don't we? So I'm trying to get out of this shower without disturbing it or, you know, making it, run even faster. And it sped up, and then it was coming down the bath, not against the wall. It was obviously on the foot. I mean, I suppose I should get my duster out a bit more often, shouldn't I? And just get rid of the cobwebs. It must have been on a web. And I thought, I can't be doing with this, I don't know what to do. So I managed to get out of the shower without slipping over, because the shower's in the bath, just in case you don't know. And so I got out of the shower, and he's sort of hurtling him, he's almost abseiling down the shower. And I thought, I don't know what I'm going to do here. So I had to all I could think was to wash him down. So I got the spray thing in the shower, and I just sprayed him down the bath, and I feel so guilty. But if he'd have just stayed where he was, I wouldn't have worried. But he was on the hunt for me, wasn't he? So and then I thought, oh my God, what if while I'm in the shower he swims back up? I mean, I don't think the spiders are known for swimming talents, are they? But, I mean, I know there are some that live in ponds and things, but I doubt whether this is one of those. And I did put the plug thing in, and I thought, oh, God. But anyway, I do feel very guilty about that, but he should have stayed where he was. He had his chance, and he blew it. Right, so this is enough, really, for me. I've browned all that. I need to move you to get another bowl. Right, I have taken the meat out of the pan. I've put some more oil in, some more rapeseed oil. And I'm going to use my easy stuff now. So I have got some frozen chopped onions, a bit of a bag left. So I'm going to put, I was going to put the fan thing on, but it will make a noise, won't it? Let's open the window. There's a whole load of spiders across my window out there. You know those brown ones that go between all the plants? I hope they didn't hear me talking about the spider story. Right. I think I'll put some more onions in. I might as well shove the whole lot in because I've got plenty more. And once they cook down, they don't look like much, do they? Right. So just cooking some frozen onions. I'll tell you what else I've got that I'm going to stick in this. I've got some mushrooms, and I've got some bits of carrot. I don't know what I'm showing you, you know what carrot looks like. Tomato. I've got a few chopped up potatoes, just this amount, not many. They're just new potatoes that I've sliced up a bit. Right, let's go back to this. Okay, so turn the heat up a bit. A bit of garlic paste. I mean, I should chop it up, shouldn't I? But who wants to clean out one of those garlic grater things? So, a bit of garlic in there. The other thing I've got is, because I don't have a lot of other vegetables, I've got several packs of these in my freezer. and they're Mediterranean char grilled vegetables, and it tells you they're ideal for salads, pasta and vegetable dishes. So as far as I'm concerned, this counts as a vegetable dish. So this is going in, and it's got some tomatoes, some peppers, some courgettes. I think there's a bit of aubergine in there. We're all friends here, that's all going in. Just get the heat up on this. I might actually just as well chuck this in. What does it matter? It's all going to cook down together, isn't it? And I know things like, you know, this doesn't take as long to cook as maybe that, etc. But does it matter? We're not going for an award here, are we? Right, so that's coming up to temperature. Now, this is just what I like, but you don't have to do this. You don't have to do any of this. And this is a nice sort of thing for this time of year as well, I think, this food. I've got onto these chipotle flakes, which are a little bit of heat, but not too much. So, I mean, I'd put, it's less than a teaspoon, I think, or maybe a teaspoon. Put that in. And I know there's all sorts of flavours going in here, but whoops, but you know, I don't really care, just do what you like. And I also like this Middle Eastern spice mix, which I just think gives another bit of a layer of flavour. So just a little bit of that, just a sprinkle. And I just feel I'm a bit chefy when I bung a load of things in. Oops. Actually, you can put those away now. I bought a big one of these paprika things. Paprika or paprika? I don't know. I've got a wet boob. Because that's quite useful for putting in all sorts of stuff. So just give all that a bit of a stir. Then the meat goes back in. Oh, yeah, I'll put the potatoes in a minute. Meat goes back in. This is loads of dinner. I mean, I'll probably do this for maybe 2 days or something. So shove all that in. Oh, sorry, I can't see. Oops. Whoopsie. Can't see, can you? You're looking at me. There we go. It's really hard to balance anything in your kitchen. I don't know how people do this. I say that all the time, don't I? Finished with those. Right, so that's all getting mixed in. Then this is just a Sainsbury's own beef cube. I've got OXO, but I don't think they're all much of a muchness. Or you can make the gravy with beer or stout or whatever you want. A can of tomatoes. A little bit of puree left in this one, so I'll chuck a bit of puree in. I mean, you don't need to put any of this stuff in. And some of you will be going, oh my God, what is she doing? Just chuck anything you want in. If you've got little bits to use up. Water to get it going. This is boiling water or boiled water. Pepper, Right, whoops. Now I know they say about putting a little bit of sugar in with tinned tomatoes, so I will do that, but I'm never quite sure how much you should put in. I don't know, that's about a level teaspoon. Right. And now I'm going to, I think, is that everything I've got to put in? I think so. Now I'm just going to bring the liquid level up by and then during the course of the afternoon, whoops, I can just check it and add more water if I need to. I've also got one of these stock things, so I'll bung that in. Can't get the thing open. Oh dear. Oh, this is why people, when they do it on the telly, do everything beforehand. Blimey, this doesn't want to come out. Hold on, wash my hands. I did, of course, wash my hands before I started, and I will wash my hands in between things I'm making. Right, so do I need to set the timer for anything else I'm making? Not really, so you can only do 2 hours maximum on my my cooker, I don't know. But anyway, I've set it to 1.5 hours and I'll check it in 1.5 hours. Well, I'll check it all the time, but you know, have a proper look then. So that's all in, so I'm going to turn that down to a gentle heat. Put the lid on. And I'm going to tidy these bits away, and then I'm going to come back to you and we'll do the, I think we'll do the crumble next. Right, I have put in my pie bowl thing that I bought, pie bowl, that's not right, is it? That I bought a few weeks ago when I did my other cooking. I've just used up stuff I had. I had a bag of frozen blueberries and strawberries. I know, when I thought they were, I didn't realise they were strawberries, and I thought they're probably not the best thing, but they're probably all right in a crumble, who knows. So some frozen blueberries and strawberries, which I just kind of melted a bit to get rid of some of the liquid. I've sliced up some eating apples, didn't have any cooking apples, and I had a few raspberries left, and there was a pear sitting looking at me in the bottom of the fruit bowl, and I chopped him up and he's in there as well. So I've just shoved that in. I put a little bit of sugar over the top. Now obviously that depends on how sweet your tooth is. And in here I've got some flour, some sugar, some porridge oats and some butter. So I'm going to crumble that all together. Sorry, didn't show you properly. And I'll come back to you in a minute. Okay, so I've got this done. It's got some of the fruit peeking through, so there's not, hopefully the ratio of crumble to fruit is okay. I didn't measure any of it out, I just chucked it enough in till it looked all right. Hopefully it's okay. So I'm going to put this in the oven. I put a little bit of juice in the bottom that was left over from the frozen fruit, but not very much, because I think there's probably enough in the fruit for it to, you know, not be dry. But I don't know, you never know. And of course there'll be fat from the butter, won't there? The juices from the butter. So I'm going to put this in the oven. I've already got the oven on, and it'll probably, I'll leave it in there for I'm going to leave it in there for 25 minutes or perhaps 20 and then just check it. And then I'm going to start on the custard, so I'll be back in a second. Just in case any of you are saying, well, she's not showing me exactly what she does and what she's measuring out, which actually I'm not measuring anything out. It's because I don't really think I need to tell you how to do any of this stuff. I'm just telling you what I do. The next thing is custard. Again, I'm sure everybody's made that. Let me get my bowl. So into the bowl, I am going to put, I've got, let me turn this down a bit. I've got 3 egg yolks. Sometimes I just put 2 in, but I had plenty of eggs. I've got some vanilla extract. And I don't know, kind of putting that much in. Maybe that's a teaspoon, not really sure. Right. The next thing is a couple of, well, I'll use my tablespoon as a measure. And with sugar, somebody's shouting next door. I don't know whether they're just shouting, because they do shout, or whether there's somebody in trouble. You never quite know, do you? So I've got like a heat and a kind of level tablespoon of sugar. Obviously, if you want more or less, fine. A tablespoon of corn flour. When we were at school, we were always taught a tablespoon was a heaped tablespoon was an ounce. I don't know if that's still a thing. Corn flour. Yeah, I'm not putting. Make sure I'm not putting icing sugar in. By the way, you know I told you about icing sugar exploding. I've got some silver spoon in my cupboard, and it doesn't tell you anything about beware, this could blow up at any moment. So, right. I've got kind of a like that, but I might go in for another half. It would be easier if I got some scales out and measured this stuff, wouldn't it? Right, so that's that. So that's sugar, eggs, corn flour, and also I'll need some milk. So I've got some milk in the pan. Oops, that was a bit of a tremor. So I'm going to put that on. I've moved the stew situation over onto the smaller flame because that doesn't need to be very high. And we need to, as you know, heat this up but not bring it to the boil, because we don't want scrambled eggs. Now, that's never happened to me. I hope it doesn't happen this time, because if ever so embarrassing, I'll have to start again. Yeah, so that's probably going to be for, yeah, that shouldn't take very long. And what I'll do is, because this won't be ready by the time I've finished, well, I don't really know how to do it, because if this isn't going to be ready till this evening, but I'll show you what it looks like. I mean, you don't really need to see it in a bowl probably, do you? I'll show you what it looks like, and if you're that desperate to know how it turned out, I'll let you know in the next video. But and you'll see the crumble. Hopefully that will look all right, and you'll see the custard. So yeah, that's kind of going to be where it will end, I think, today. Do you know I bought some new knives a few weeks ago. Well, if you've seen me before or watch me regularly, you'll know I bought a set of knives, and they're really, really sharp. And we've now put them on a thing on the wall so that they're out of the way, because I used one, you know what's going to come here, don't you? I used one and I put it in the bottom of in the sink to wash it up, and I'd run some soapy water over it, and I'd forgotten that the knife was in the bottom of the sink. So I went to grab something else and cut my little finger. Now this was 3 Fridays ago now, and it's all healed and everything, and I sort of cut it in there, a very odd place when I grabbed into the sink, and I think that's hot enough, and I'll let that cool down a bit. And so it cut really deeply, and it didn't exactly hurt, because when you have a deep cut with something very sharp, I suppose it doesn't immediately. So I'm obviously, you know what to do, don't you? So I kept my arm up and I put pressure on it to stop it bleeding, and it was a tiny cut, probably 1/4 of an inch, and it just wouldn't stop bleeding, and it was all right while I hung on to it. But as soon as I moved to do anything else, and at the same time I was in the kitchen because my grandson was here, and I was it was his dinner time, so I was getting his food out of the oven. He always has pizza and chips, that's what he wants every time he comes here, and it was all ready to come out. So I switched the oven off, and I mean, I must have cut my finger like 15 minutes before, and it was still bleeding. So I thought, well, if I'm quick here, I can get it out. Anyway, every time I put my hand down to reach into the oven, it started to bleed again. So I phoned my daughter, who lives around the corner, so it's his mum, who lives literally around the corner. I said, is there any way you can come over now? I've cut my finger. And she said, yeah. Anyway, I wouldn't say she came with the speed of light, but she did turn up, bless her. And she sort of sauntered past the window, and she looked at my finger, or rather I had it wrapped in a towel because it had just about stopped bleeding by then. And I turned the oven off and everything, so the dinner wasn't getting burnt. And I said, look, can you just get that out of the oven for me, because every time I bend down my finger bleeds again, and it's ready and he wants his dinner. And she went, I thought it was worse than that. And I said, at no point did I say to you, I'm dying here, get round and get an ambulance. I said, even if I did, you didn't really, hurry, did you? And she said, well, I came quickly. And I said, yes, you did. But, I didn't say it was an emergency, but you seem to be disappointed that I'm not bleeding out on the floor. So I've been very careful with those knives ever since, and that's why we bought this metal-y thing. I'll show it to you on another occasion. I don't suppose you care anyway. But all the new knives and the other ones that I've got in the drawer that are really, really sharp, I put up there. And it's quite a good, it's like a metal strip. I didn't want a knife, a wooden knife block thing on this worktop, because there's enough stuff on this worktop, and I'm going to get rid of this microwave that's in the corner soon. She's going to have that when she moves, my daughter. That can't go too soon, I'll tell you. There are bits and pieces on here, but not as much as some people like. But yeah, I didn't want a knife block, so it's up there out of the way. That was the only bit of spare wall we had. But anyway, so I disappointed her, I can tell you. Right, so let's see what's happening here. I'm just going to put a little bit cold in, because I did take my eye off the ball there, didn't I, a bit? And I am going to put some cold milk in here, just a little bit, to make up roughly a pint, I suppose. If it's too thin, I can always add some more corn flour. If, usually it turns out all right. So, right. Do you know, this is useless as well. I don't know why I keep it. This is a sort of a silicone balloon whisk. So if you've got, as you will know, if you've got pans that you don't want to scratch, you can use this, but it's absolutely hopeless. It bends all over the place. I'm just going to get my other balloon whisk. Yeah, everybody needs a spare balloon whisk. So, right, just mixing that out, giving it a good old stir. Because I've been chatting and left it, it's got a bit lumpy, but it'll go all right in a minute. Hopefully this will be alright. If it's not, I'll just have to start again and delete this bit of video. Right, so that's all mixed in. So just put the warm milk in with a bit in the bowl, and then return that to the pan. Canned. There we go. Let's see how we go with this. I keep thinking I've forgotten something to put in it, but I don't know what I could have forgotten. But if it doesn't thicken, we'll know. Sorry, it's a bit noisy, isn't it? I'll have a go with this, but this is just hopeless. And then because I don't measure stuff out, if it goes a bit thick, I just add a bit more milk. It's not rocket science, is it? Or if it's too thick, too thin, I've never had that. I suppose you add a bit more corn flour, don't you? It's very amazing really, isn't it? Like I've said before, all the years I've cooked for people, and I don't really know anything about cooking, but no one's ever complained. And I might not have said this before, but when I got married the first time, my mum's a terrible cook, and she thought she was all right. I think I might have said this actually before. She thought she was all right, but she really wasn't. So I'm very underconfident, and I think that's why, because I think if anyone says anything I make is nice, I think they're just being polite, because that's what I used to be with my mum's food, because you had to say thank you and something was nice, because that's how we were brought up. It was manners. And yeah, so I'm not very confident with it. And she used to say, oh, well, I don't weigh anything out. And we used to think, well, please weigh it out, it might be a bit better. And of course I do the same thing, so I don't know. But there you go. Right, let's see what this is doing. See what this does. And then of course it cools down and it gets thicker, doesn't it? By the way, we don't normally, this is a Friday, and we don't normally go to all this, well I don't normally, I mean I would do that, you know, because I do make a dinner every night, but we don't really have desserts very much. Usually if I make something like that, it'd be maybe a Sunday, but yeah, so it's not something we do every night, have a dessert. I mean, I wouldn't say I've got a particularly sweet tooth. I sort of prefer savoury stuff. But every now and again you just fancy a bit of sweet, don't you? But that's why I don't make anything too sweet. There we go. Right, I'll come back to you in a second. I think this is alright, I'll just stir it a bit longer and you don't have to listen to it then. Okay, it's just beginning to thicken up nicely now. I haven't done anything else to it, it's just took a few minutes. So I think that's just about right really, because it gets thicker as it cools, doesn't it? There we go, that's the crumble and the custard. I just tasted the custard and I would say it's a little bit sweet for my taste, but you know, it's is what it is, so I should have perhaps left a little bit of sugar out, but nobody's perfect, are they? This looks quite nice, so I'm quite looking forward to tucking into this later on. So yeah, hope you think it's alright. Like I say, I'm not trying to teach how to do anything, just showing you what I'm having for dinner tonight basically. Thanks ever so much for watching. I'm going to try and get this video put up this evening because it's Friday, and I hope you sort of enjoy it. Let me know about the video I was proposing to do sometime soon about my sister, but if you don't fancy it, please tell me, because I don't want you to be miserable listening to somebody's story. I will say goodbye, have a great weekend, and I will see you next week with something different. So take care, bye bye for now.